The past 2 years have been great for any Fujifilm user. In 2021, Fujifilm released its new generation of prime lenses with the 18, the 23 and the 33mm f1.4. Now last year Fujifilm released its new X-H2, X-H2S and X-T5. So where do you go from there? What is Fujifilm going to release in 2023? Let's find out. So the next X Summit will be in April, and Fujifilm is expected to drop some new lenses but also some new bodies. The first camera that we may see is the X Pro 4. Now the X Pro 4 will be the successor of the beloved X Pro 3, which was released back in 2019. Now we can expect the X Pro 4 to have the same sensor as the Fujifilm X-T5 because it is a photography first camera, and it should also come with its usual design with a viewfinder and a titanium plate on the back. Now while it is a photography first camera, we can also expect it to shoot at least 4K videos. I would not expect the 6.2K, especially in the X Pro series, because that is not the original purpose of this particular camera, but at least a 4K 30p is expected in this particular body. The other camera that we might see in 2023 is the XS20. The XS10 has been, I think, quite successful at bringing new customers to the Fujifilm ecosystem by being an affordable, compact, video-centric camera for people who wanted to get started with vlog, while also being able to take pictures around them with the great sensor of the XS10, which is the same as the X-T4. We can also expect the XS20 to have an upgraded sensor compared to the XS10, and while I don't think that it will have the same as the X-H2S, meaning the stack sensor, I think that it will also have the same sensor as the X-T5 and most likely will allow both 4K and 6.2K without the raw capability output that the X-T5 provide. So let me know down in the comment which body you prefer, and now let's move on to the lenses. One of the criticisms that Fujifilm users have towards the Fujifilm native lens lineup is the lack of ultra-wide prime lenses. Now this is going to change with the potential release of the XF 8mm f3.5. This lens is going to be a portable, compact, ultra-wide lens that's going to be suitable most likely for landscape, for architecture or real estate photography. Now, while this lens doesn't have an extremely high aperture, I think that its main advantage is gonna be in its size and weight. You might not be able to use this lens for, let's say, astral photography, but for landscape, architecture or real estate, I think that it's gonna be a small compact lens that will benefit a lot of users. Alright, so now let's move on to the GFX system. In 2023, I think that Fujifilm will finally bring tilt shift lenses to its GFX system. A tilt shift lens allows you to have control over tilt and shift. Tilt meaning that the lens is no longer parallel to the sensor, and shift meaning that the plane of focus and the depth of field is altered. A tilt shift lens can be useful, for example, to eliminate perspective distortion when it comes to landscape photography or architecture photography. It can also help you having really shallow depth of field on specific parts of your image and give a really cool effect that you cannot have with a normal lens. Now there will be two shift lenses announced in 2023, being the 110mm and the 30mm f5.6. Now the 30mm being a 24mm equivalent will be perfect to get wide angle shots with this distortion of depth of field that is really characteristic of the tilt shift lenses. The 110mm on the other hand will be more dedicated to mid-range telephoto and could be used for specific portrait or also landscape scenarios. One more lens should also be added to the GFX lineup, being the GF 55mm f1.7 with a 44mm equivalent in full frame. And this lens will basically be a bokeh monster, a large aperture portrait lens that will go well as a complement of the existing 80mm f1.7 from the GFX system. Now you can imagine that this lens is definitely gonna be pricey and hefty, and this lens will mostly be designed for professional looking for that really shallow depth of field and that really creamy background that the GFX system with a 1.7 aperture, that is a really shallow depth of field, can bring to portrait photography. Alright, so what do you think about the rumored lenses and body this year? Are you interested in getting one? Personally, so far, I think that my wallet is gonna be in a much better state than in the past 2 years, because the lenses and the bodies that they are going to announce are not necessarily the ones that I'm looking for. Thank you for watching, and if you missed it, check out this video right here where I review the Fujifilm X-T5 and give you all the information that you need before you make a purchase. See you there!